It's Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Can I just first off say, gosh, I've missed you guys. It's been a while since I've done a video. Been traveling, a lot of work stuff, so I've been very good in that regard. And actually, was a super awesome work trip. If anything was to be said about that, So again, when it comes to manifesting, my career is moving in a very nice direction. I cannot complain. So life is groovy and great in that regard. Focus-based universe, kind of what we see, our filters. It's just funny. There's a story here that's not personal, but it's from my vantage point, and it's something I say as a joke a lot. And actually, I'll link it below just for any of you that ever do want to see it. I actually did a stand-up bit not long ago, recorded it, put it on YouTube, so I'll link it below. It's possibly got some color. No, I don't think I cussed too much. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you want to see it, it's going to be down below. It was just me attempting to be funny, but I like to try to have a sense of humor in life. It's one of the things I've always done. I obviously did stand-up once. I've done a bunch of improv. I've done theater. I've done singing. I'm in radio. Done all sorts of crazy type stuff, and I love it, man. It's just a blast. So I still play around. I still dabble where you may. So there's times where I like to get reactions from people, and sometimes say things that, it's more of a statement for reaction, like kicking a puppy. I would never kick a puppy, but you say that to somebody and their ears perk up and they look at you funny. And I'm like, yeah, so then I kicked a puppy. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, I didn't really kick a... I love animals. I love animals probably more than people, frankly. So I would never do that. But yeah, again, you say something crazy and it gets a reaction out of people. That's the reason I said it. To me, it was borderline funny. Actually, to me, it was very funny. To sometimes the people that you're saying it to, maybe not quite as funny. But that being said, this does tie in, so don't think I'm drifting off, which I typically do. It's a focus-based universe, so talking about things, a lot of us have had this thought before. What if I talk about something that I don't really believe or I don't really think? Am I making it happen? Am I making it happen just by talking about it? And the standard answer for law of attraction would be, well, yeah, if you talk about it, you're creating it. Duh. But, there's more to it, right? Because if it was just that easy, all of us would have our SPs right now, right? Because we just talk about it. We'd be like, I am with my SP. Oh, hi. I didn't realize you'd walk in on your own. How'd you get in the house? It's locked, right? That would happen, but it doesn't. Why? Because there's a little more to it, right? So this is where I think it's kind of funny, because something I joke about often kind of sort of I started seeing it more often, and I was like, oh man, I'm creating this. This is it's like, Dan, this is you, buddy. And so it made me step back from it for a second, and it was a great example of how we create circumstances in our lives. Now, maybe it's circumstances that are between you and your specific person. Maybe it's circumstances between you and your boss, you and your lover, you and your family members, you and your child, whatever it is. We create circumstances through, I kind of think, a couple different concepts. Now, it's probably more vast than that, but I kind of, for me, summarized it down to, at least in my little reality that I was going through, kind of two different things. So, obviously, we've talked about frequently, focus-based universe. What you focus on is kind of what you're putting energy towards. So that is a key part, right? If I'm putting energy towards something, then I am definitely helping bring more of that to my life. But there's a component to this, such as maybe I say everyone is crazy, or everybody, crazy, maybe not so much. If I'm always walking around saying everyone's crazy, I think it'll fall into what I typically say. And I will share it with you guys because it's funny. I think it's funny. I actually want to have t-shirts made, even though it's horrible, and I probably won't, just because I don't want to send that message out to the universe to everybody, but it is funny to me. But maybe I say everyone's an alien, right? An alien from another planet. Everybody's an alien from another planet. That's not really something I believe. It's not really something that I know to be true, not something that I really think deep-hearted is a part of the fabric of my life. I just don't believe that everybody's an alien, right? So if I say everybody's an alien, it doesn't mean I'm going to change anything. But if I say something like, I hate people, which is kind of my joke, because I'll say to people, after something crazy happens or someone says, yeah, and then they drop the soup, and I'm like, and this is why I hate people. It's a little, this is why I hate people, something that you can just throw in a conversation right after you say you just got done kicking a puppy, and you get a reaction from people, and a lot of times they laugh. It usually gets a very good reaction, and it's funny, and I use it in, appropriate places where it kind of is sort of funny. And people that know me know I know I might say that every once in a while. And it's just part of, knowing Dan, right? But what I was finding is I've been running into more and more of these people that exhibit these behaviors that cause me to think these thoughts, right? So I realized, I'm like, I kind of believe it sometimes, I guess, is that there are annoying people out there, right? I know there are annoying people out there. Everybody knows this. This is very, very known. But there's also awesome people out there. But I'm seeing more of the ones that are not awesome. Why is that? And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, well, I keep saying I hate people. And it gets a laugh and it's a chuckle. And that's kind of why I say it. But then I've actually noticed there were times when I'll be like walking down the airport and someone does something crazy and I'm like, this is why I hate people. Like I'm saying it to myself now. And what I'm noticing is I'm putting on this filter. And that was, I thought, the key. I'm putting on a filter. It's like glasses, right? Like I put on the glasses. Oh, now I'm seeing crazy people everywhere. Or I put on my glasses and it's like, oh, all these people I hate. And it's not that I hate people. It's that they do behaviors that are annoying. And we all know these people. And so I kept seeing it. And it wasn't that I was focusing on crazy people like that. It was just something that I say often enough. It's like an affirmation almost. But there's that level of belief to it. And what that belief seems to do is it flips the filter of our perception, of our reality. What we experience, the timing, right? Because there's crazy people everywhere, right? So just the fact that I see them, does that mean my filter? Maybe. Because it's not like there's a spotlight shined on the ones that are going to do something that's going to make me wonder why I'm even here trying to help humanity. Versus the ones that just help the poor puppy get saved before someone almost ran it over, right? Like it's like, oh, you're such a sweet person, or you're like to help the old person across the street, or to save the child, or whatever, run into the burning building, whatever, the super awesome, amazing people. It's that filter. So yeah, I believe good people are out there for sure, not a problem. And I also believe bad people are out there for sure, not a problem, right? Like that's a given. But since I'd been saying the comment so much, my focus-based universe, since I kept making the comment, hate people, it's so funny when I say that, right? I kept doing that, and then all of a sudden, my filter started showing me more of those people. I was like, well, I don't want that, obviously. So I stopped. I realized that that's all that was, and that's no big deal. You just change your behavior. So if there's something going on in your life and you're not happy with it, we can always change. And that's what I did. It was very fun. Quickly changed. I'm like, oh, okay, let's not do that anymore, right? Or at least if I do, let's do it maybe a little less. How about that? We'll pull that card out every once in a while rather than frequently lately anyways. So, right? So again, when that happened, now all of a sudden, like today at the airport, I was actually seeing neat examples of people doing cool things. I actually sat between two people, so this is kind of funny. I'm walking into the plane. I've got a middle seat, and it's a 2-hour leg. Normally, I try really hard to get an window or an aisle on the longer portion of my flights. Usually, that's like if I'm going to Texas from here, a lot of times I'll go to Phoenix, and then I'll hit San Antonio, and that's about a 2-hour leg. And then the Phoenix to my Orange County is not very long. That's like an hour, right? So that part's cool. I don't care if I get stuck in the middle there, no big deal. But the 2-hour one, I like to have one or the other. Well, today, I was lucky enough to not have that. I had the window seat. It's like, joy. And so I'm walking down, and I see where I'm sitting, and it's like, awesome. And there's already a dude at the window, and the middle seat was open, and I hop down, and then the guy that's going to sit on the side of me comes in, and it's just this giant dude. He's a giant dude. He's tall. He was big. He wasn't necessarily like, super fat or anything. He was just a really, really big guy. Just a big guy. I mean, even big boned and everything, right? He was just huge. And I'm like, oh, man. So anyway, I'm sitting there all like scrunched up, and I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. And at one point, eventually, when we finally took off, I leaned the thing back. He left his upright. And at that point, my my shoulders were no longer touching him. So I was like, oh, this isn't bad at all. So flight turned out great. Slept through half of it, which was pretty nice. And then I read some. That was good. I was like, all right, this is cool. Then we finally start, getting closer, and I start talking to him. And both the guys sitting next to me are two really cool dudes. And I actually had neat conversations with both of them. Actually, all three of us were talking. And it was just like, wow, like here's two really, really cool guys that had really neat experiences, that have something to share, and ended up sitting next to two very, very wonderful people. Again, my outcome, my reality was more based off of me changing my view of everything that's going on. So Dan, what the hell are you talking about? How does this relate to me manifesting? Well, a lot of us, social people. The one example that keeps popping up, I hear this a lot, and it's just an example, is I hopped on social media. I know I shouldn't. I always hear that. Everyone, Anya even jokes about it. It's kind of funny. Like, I know I shouldn't, that I did. And it's like, that's why we say you shouldn't. And I don't necessarily want to try to clean up the mess when we say, don't run into the brick wall. And you're like, but I want to. And then you run into the brick wall. And I'm like, I don't want to help you. You're not smart to not run into the brick wall. Don't do that. I've told you. It's a bad idea. But it's one thing to hop on social media and check them out. It's another thing to hop on social media at the exact time they post, at the exact time they're liking somebody else, some weird actions occurring that you somehow can perceive as a negative. They're back together with someone. They just posted a picture of him and this girl, or her and this guy, or whatever. And so we instantly go off. And of course, some of that's us pushed out. The us pushed out, at least in my perspective, is we project onto them what it is that we're experiencing or where we're at. If we're scared or whatever, we're going to project that fear onto them. So he just posted a picture of him and a friend, and literally that's probably what it is. We're just going to say hypothetically in this situation, it's him and literally a friend, not someone he's interested in at all. Like maybe she smells funny, right? Like he's never going to date her. That's not even an issue. She's not funny, whatever. But he posted a picture because they did some random thing together. Now, we might look at that and we might go, they're together. Oh my God, see, there's proof. But that's the filter. That's that I believe that I'm not good enough, or I believe that I'm lacking, right? So we project onto them that there's more going on here than there really is. And if we kind of keep having those beliefs, that filter, remember, we put our glasses on, everything we're noticing around us helps prove that belief. You want to believe something, then everywhere I start looking, I start seeing evidence to prove my belief. And thusly, we'd be like, well, see, that's what's happening. And it's like, all right, well, let's change that. What if, we work on self-love, one example, right? Self-love helps because when you get a better image of yourself, when you decide what you really deserve, when you decide what you should have in your life, and then you truly go, I deserve better than this. And it's that second where we change our belief instantly, and we put on different glasses, and now all of a sudden, people are interested in us. Suddenly people are attracted to us. Ex-boyfriends are hitting us up out of the blue, ex-girlfriends, whatever. All of a sudden, everything seems different, and it trips us out. It's not that it's different. All this stuff is happening at the same time always. The good and the bad. The jerk holes and the good people are all out there at the same time. Your belief is what sets up your higher self to look at the right place at the right time. It's that belief that shows us more to verify that belief. So if you believe that you and your specific person are getting back together and you truly believe it, it's not an issue of I say it, I do affirmations over and over, but then I go back and I start questioning it and doubting it. That doesn't help. But if you believe it, then you're going to see more evidence that that's what's occurring. Now, some of you obviously right now are asking, well, yeah, that's okay, great, awesome. How do I change my belief? You say it like it's so easy to do. Right? How do I do that? A lot of it comes down to a few things. One, self-love. It's why we always say self-love. Because when we come at a place at it from self-love, especially with specific people, when we truly love ourselves, when we truly decide what is love, what is a relationship that I deserve, what is a good, healthy relationship, what am I really into, what makes me happy as a person, not just from other people, but stuff that I'm doing in my life, right? When you really take the time to invest in yourself and love in yourself and really understand you, or me, depends, then all of a sudden now we're armed with extra information that causes us to look at our specific person differently. Maybe the same, but differently usually. A lot of times we'll look at them like, yeah, they don't really, they're not interested in me, or maybe they are. Let's take the negative ones first. Maybe they really aren't interested in you. Maybe they're not spending time with you. And then at that point, we start to pull back our energy from them because we realize, well, this is stupid. I'm chasing after someone that doesn't even want me. I deserve better than that. I deserve to be with someone that loves me and cherishes me. What? This is ridiculous. So we pull back. Well, the second we pull back, the thought bridge, the thought transmission stops. Now all of a sudden it feels different. Now all of a sudden they're like, whoa, wait, she's not paying attention to me. Whoa. Now all of a sudden you're the one walking away and they're like, wait, hey, you, no, don't. So you change the energy dynamic by falling in love with yourself and demanding better. Or the other side of this, for those of you that have a wonderful specific person, maybe it's a distance issue. Maybe you just, they work weird hours. Maybe it's just hard. Maybe we had a small breakup and we're just trying to get ourselves back together. The self-love aspect there, in a lot of cases, allows us to look at ourselves and be like, I am a freaking awesome person. They'd be lucky to have me. Of course they're going to want me back. Of course we're going to be back together. Now, once you've got that belief ironed out, once you realize what you're worth, what you should have, what you deserve, once you've got that drilled into yourself and you actually believe it, now what you start to perceive, now the glasses you put on to view the world in front of you start showing you different things. You no longer happen to hop on social media right when they post the picture of the friend. In fact, you might hop on moments before they even post it, maybe send them some little weird direct message or whatever, right? I don't know, whatever. Maybe you like some picture that they did or like some mutual friend, and they hop on and they see that, and then they see you there and they're like, oh, hey, hi you, and maybe they direct message you, versus you hopping on social media 5 minutes later, and he hopped on just before you. He didn't see your post to that friend because you haven't gotten on yet to do it. And he posts a picture of him and a friend and blah, 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 blah. And then you hop on. Now you don't go to your friend's page like you were going to. Now you go to his page and you see this picture of this other person. The timing of your actions are governed by your beliefs. In most cases. I'm not saying always, because I don't think that's great to make blanket statements. But in a lot of cases, we have these beliefs about things or how things should play out or what's okay or what's not okay. And a lot of these beliefs really come from our view of ourselves, our view of what we deserve, our view of what we'll tolerate, our view of what's acceptable. And that creates sort of an acceptance belief, if you will. It creates a belief around what I expect to see, what I accept as okay to see. And like I said, I was seeing the people I hate, right? I hate people, right? I was seeing that more and more. That's not okay. No. And that was when I realized there was a problem. I'm seeing more stuff I don't want to see. I know it's all out there. I just enjoy seeing the cool stuff more. And it was when I started seeing more of the negative stuff that I realized I was off track. And it was that easy for me to turn it around. It's that easy for you to turn it around. You own your thoughts. You own you and what you deserve. You control and completely have everything about you is within your power. Like everything about you is in your power. What someone else does, you can't control. You can put energy towards it. You can make influential suggestions, if you will, but you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. You can't. You cannot. I don't care what law of attraction gurus out there say you can. You cannot force people to do stuff. And if you try to, you're actually going to harm yourself karmically. You can't. Everyone has free will, period. Everyone has free will. Even when people say everyone's you pushed out, yes, they are as far as your perception of them. They're still their own beings. We're not going to get into a universe where there's only one of us and I'm actually playing all the different characters. Like, now, come on now. Like, maybe that's possible and we can have fun with that as a theoretical concept, but that is highly unlikely because where's the joy? Why would a bunch of souls inhabit life together only to have it just be yourself, right? Very, very lonely kind of thought process versus, no, there's millions of souls and I interact with a lot of them, and every once in a while you bump into one of them or a few of them that you really have this interesting connection with, this chemistry. You're two souls that finally met up together in this, you're like two moths flying in the darkness that found the same porch light together in the middle of nowhere. And it feels so amazing to have that oasis of light in the middle of darkness, and you found it together with your soulmate. All of these things are extremely possible, doable, and it's really, what do you want? What do you believe you deserve? It's not a question I can answer for you. It's only a question you can answer. But for me, what I believe I deserve is to see more of the good people out there, because I really do feel like, in all honesty, just personal Dan stuff, I've always felt like I was here to help people, always. And I've always tried to. I've been a coach, I've been a team lead, like just a lot of stuff, professionally and personally and spiritually. I've done, like I said, I've done stuff to help clean the Akashic records. I've talked about like spiritual, like I've done a lot of stuff where I was literally thought, in my heart anyway, I believed I was making a difference for more than just me, like for a lot of us. And it always feels really groovy when I do that. So when I start seeing the negative parts of humanity, I realize my focus has not been where it should. And in the case of specific people, and Strength to Walk On, I'm not going to post the link. You guys you can go search it. Strength to Walk On is the video I did. There was a point when my self-love kicked in and I realized I deserve better than this. And it was a powerful moment for me. And it led me to an amazing place that I currently enjoy immensely. Things to think about. Again, if you're seeing stuff that doesn't jibe with what you're trying to create, you need to look inward. A lot of us don't like doing that, but that's where you got to start. You got to start there because that's where it's at. It's where it's all at. Get those beliefs, get those self-love, get that stuff worked out. Then you'll notice the glasses you put on are going to show you what you want to see. It's that simple. Hopefully this makes a difference. I love you guys. I've missed you guys. Did a kind of a long one. Did a super long one. Holy crap. Here's what it is. It's been a while, right? So you got to get them out there. But I love you guys, and I've missed you, and thank you, all of you. I'm going to try to see if I can get on and do something live this weekend, see Q&A or something, just to say hi to people, see who all shows up. And this one, I don't know when I'm going to release this. It'll either come out tonight, as soon as I'm done. It's Friday right now, or I'll get it out Saturday morning and publish it first thing in the morning. So we'll see. We'll see when it gets out there, but more great stuff coming. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. Please leave comments, maybe show future show ideas, or places where you feel like you can maybe offer something that other people are going to read and be like, yeah, no, I was totally doing that too. Where you realize that moment where you were hating people and didn't need to, and then suddenly you started to notice that everything changed once you changed, right? And that's why so many of us, we say, if you want to change something outside of yourself, you change inside of yourself. Outside of yourself, it's your glasses. It's what you're seeing. Doesn't make it any more real or any less real. It's what you're seeing. Change those glasses by changing the belief, and you will notice different stuff. It can be an issue of timing. Like I said, you could hop on their social media 3 minutes before you were going to, and in so doing, change the course of everything. It's that simple. Stay on RadioStyle. Miss you guys. Talk soon.